sesame seeds, and the third is ghee, which is liquid. These three things are sacrificed, and we feel the purification of the environment, the purification of any task has been completed. But actually the husk, the rice with the husk on, signifies this body and the soul. The rice is the soul, the husk is the costume. The sesame seeds till is the significance of the mind, symbolizes the mind, which is subtle. And the ghee, which is liquid, symbolizes the wealth. So tan, man, dhan. Actually, we need to purify these three things. We have to sacrifice the intentions behind these three things. When we sacrifice, the purification process takes place. We all know before there was a system in India where we had joint families all staying together. And in the joint families, the whole family members, they all experienced happiness. But now as the families are becoming nucleus, there is a great harm to the sanskaras of the children, because parents do not have enough time to give good sanskaras to children. And before, when they were in the joint family, the child naturally got sanskaras in the right manner. When it is evening time, we all know the grandparents, they used to take the small children for a walk. And where do they normally take them? They used to take them to a temple. And when they would take that child, that young child, to the temple, they teach the child, join your hands, pray to God. So as the elders would do, the child would also copy them and do prayers. He does not know how to pray. He is an innocent child, a pure child, but he copies. After the grandparents' prayer is over, they give him 10 paisa or 25 paisa in the hand and ask the child to put in the donation box. This was the sanskara, the way to give sanskara, instill sanskara in the child. They used to ask him to put in the donation box so that he learns the art of giving, sharing. And the child would put that 10 paisa maybe in the donation box. And after that, the grandparents would bring their children back home. The next day, as soon as the evening, the sun is setting, that small child would start pulling the dhoti of the grandparent. Let us go for a walk. And even if the grandparents would say, but still there is time, we'll go a little bit later. No, let us go. He pulls the dhoti. No, let us go. He wants to go. And where would he take again? You ask him, where do you want to go? He would signal, Jai, we want to go to the temple. So when they go to the temple, after praying, joining his hands, looking towards God, then he would ask his grandfather, give me money. I want to put here in the donation box. So the first day, the body went and the wealth went. So the next day, the mind goes, the body goes, and the wealth again goes. This was sanskaras, the purification of tan, man and dhan. But in today's world, when families are becoming nucleus, parents do not have enough time to take the children to the temple also. And when they come from work so exhausted, what will they say to the child? Can you just go down and get me a packet of cigarette? These are the sanskaras in today's age. So he gives money to the child, sends him down to that pan shop, and he goes and buys a cigarette. So the body has gone to a wrong place, the wealth is going to a wrong place. And so the next day, evening, he asks his father, can I go and get you a cigarette? And then a time will come when he feels, let me taste. So his mind also goes. The mind always follows the body and the wealth. Wherever the body and wealth would go, the mind would also literally go there. And this is how impurity has come into our lives. So instead of performing sacrificial fires to purify the environment, we need to perform a sacrificial fire to purify our senses, our tan, man and dhan. For the fulfillment of the yajna, perform action by remaining aloof from the influence of the company. Do not get into bad company. Do not allow yourself to be tainted by the evils of the company. In the beginning of the life cycle, Kalpa, Prajapita Brahma created human beings along with the yajna. Along with this life cycle, he created such a process which we call yajna, and said that let there be the expansion and growth through this yajna. This yajna will fulfill all the desires related to the divine, in which there will be no evil. So when our life cycle becomes such, which is moving towards the divine, there will be no evil. This yajna will purify everything. So this yajna will fulfill all the desires related to the divine, in which there will be no evil caused to you people, and which will never be destroyed. Let the divine beings progress through this yajna, which means let the divine sanskaras increase in your life. Those deities, those divine sanskaras will in turn make you progress and make all those things available for your fulfillment of life. This is such a beautiful teaching that God gives us, Arjunas, that how the need is to purify our actions, and for that, let us make this life a yajna where we need to sacrifice all the tan, man and dhan which is going on to a wrong path. And then further he says, those who do not behave according to the laws of the eternal world cycle and only desire sinful sensuous happiness live uselessly. Yajna is such a special process through which the aim is not to give rest to the senses, but experience everlasting happiness. In this process, the law is that the senses have to remain under control. Those who just wish for the gratification of senses are sinners. Those who live in this world for the gratification of senses are sinners. They are not pure beings. So how we can experience eternal happiness, that path is also clarified by him. And then a beautiful shloka is mentioned here, that food is attained when there are showers. Here it is, God is not talking at the gross level. He has nothing to do with the food of the gross world and the rains and showers, no. But the spiritual significance of this point is also that the nourishment for the mind, the nourishment of the soul is when there are showers, showers of mercy, Showers, kripa vrishti, it is said. When the mercy, the showers of mercy from the Supreme are there. So here in the context of the yajna, the showers are of mercy. Because the showers are due to yajna. So when we purify our life, we attain the showers of mercy and the nourishment for the soul. And this yajna is created and fulfilled only through actions. Action based on Swadharma. Actions are performed through the Vedas. Vedas means knowledge. What is in the Vedas? Knowledge. So actions are performed through the Vedas and knowledge is obtained from the Supreme Being, the ocean of knowledge. So such a beautiful spiritual significance is said that if you need to nourish your soul, you need to perform actions based on Swadharma. And when we perform action based on Swadharma, we purify our mind, body and wealth. And we are able to claim the showers of mercy from everyone. And we need to perform our actions based on not just Swadharma, but on knowledge, the spiritual knowledge, the spiritual wisdom. And then he further says, wise ones like Janak and others too always performed actions. While remaining detached, who is Janak? Janak means the creator. In fact, yoga is Janak. When I am able to create my form on the basis of spirituality, that is Janak. So yoga is Janak. Here God is not talking of King Janak. No, Janak means the one who creates the form. Every great personality connected with yoga is Janak, who creates the form of others also, who creates their own form, divinizes their form, and inspires others also to create such a divine form. So every great personality connected with yoga is Janak. You can attain the highest success through action. The world follows the footsteps of an elevated soul. So this is how we have to become careful at every step of action that we take, that there are so many who are looking at me, who are looking at my actions and who are trying to take the inspiration from that action. So I should not perform any such action which would deviate others or ignorant souls from their path. And this is how he cautions. Knowledgeful ones should never behave in such a way that creates illusion in the intellect of ignorant souls or lack of faith towards performing action. The action of both may be alike, of the knowledgeful souls and the ignorant souls. Both their actions may be alike, but there could be a difference in the feelings and significance with which they are performing that action. The action of that being with the highest aim of salvation will lead to self-progress, and the action of a worldly being will bind him more further. So this is how the action may be the same, but the feelings, the significance which is within their consciousness is different maybe. And this is how one can elevate and the others will go into the bondage. So knowledgeful souls should never behave in such a way that creates illusion in the intellect of ignorant souls. And then he says, hey Arjuna, be absorbed within the soul by negating the mind and surrendering your actions to me. Whatever